Hi everyone, it's Red Sea Reefer here, and welcome to this tank update. So as you know, I have stopped filming the Focus Friday videos and temporarily replaced them with just a tank update. The reason, as you also might know if you watch my videos, is that I'm going to move houses in a couple of months. So that's a lot of time and effort goes into that. Actually, today we signed the contract, so that's very good news, because that will mean that it will be very likely that the sale is going through. Now the only challenge ahead is to sell our house, of course, but I'm assuming that won't be much of an issue, since the Dutch housing market is pretty much seller's market at the moment. A lot of people looking for new houses, so I have good hopes that that we'll be able to sell this house fairly quickly. So as you also might know, that means that in a couple of months I will be moving to a bigger tank. So that's of course a very exciting thing, since some of my fish have been gaining in size a lot. So they have grown a lot over the past few months or past few years, depending on which fish you're referring to. So it's about time actually that they were going to move to a bigger tank. So if everything goes well, if everything goes according to planning, then it's now March, so probably or possibly, most likely within 3 months, so that's April, May, June. The end of June is the target to move to the new house. So 3 more months of Red Sea Reefer, and then probably something else. So let's do a quick tank walkthrough today. Well, the tank is a little bit fuzzy today, or at the moment, because we just came home and I had to feed the mastic, and it was a little bit mixed, a little bit watery. So a lot of particles from the mastic are currently flowing throughout the water, which of course is great for the corals and the fish, since the Avansi still prefer eating the mastic from the water column, as you can see, instead of biting it from the mastic itself. So the bigger fish, they will chew off bits and pieces. Let's just focus on that for a while. So for example, the copper band with its snout will fiercely bite into it, and by doing that it will release the particles into the water column, which of course the other fish and the corals will benefit from. So it's a win-win actually. So I really enjoy watching this, as you might imagine, if you could imagine. So the spotted drum is becoming a pretty big unit. It's more and more losing its junior looks and turning into a real drumfish. Bulky, big, beautiful. Well, that's of course my opinion, but I think it's a beautiful fish. The dorsal fin is getting a little bit shorter than before. So when they're very small, the dorsal fin is very long, and the tail is also very long. And as they grow and get older, the tail thickens, the dorsal fin shortens, and they will be much more bulky in size and appearance. And they will develop spots, because it's a spotted drum, as you can see pretty good right now. But when it was still young, they only have stripes. So the spots develop over time, and I think this is a really beautiful fish. I think the formula to success for keeping this fish is pretty much buying it as a juvenile. So they are known to be quite aggressive towards shrimp, for example, or smaller fish. But since this one has been in my tank for such a long time, when it was just a small juvenile, it got accustomed to the other fish, has gotten accustomed to the shrimp. So all in all, it's behaving exemplary. It hasn't harmed any fish. It's not harming the shrimp. The shrimp can even get close to attempt cleaning it. Not a problem. It's pretty friendly. So again, a beautiful fish to keep. But when you want one, be sure to have a big tank, because they will grow large, as you can see, and they will need to adapt to reef tank life. So another fish that I want to touch upon today is the angelfish. As you might know, I've had this fish for a couple of months now. At first it was a bit shy. It's still a bit shy, by the way, but it shows a lot more now than it did before. In my opinion, one of the most beautiful fish that you can keep in a reef tank. But there's a downside, and that is that their diet consists of sponges, which is okay, but also corals, which is of course less nice if your tank is full of corals. So they are known to be fond of eating large polyped stony corals, for example chalices and zoanthus. So I've seen it nip on a zoanthus once or twice, nothing bad, but more recently it has taken a liking into this red chalice. Again, I'm okay with it. I'm not going to get rid of the fish. It can eat the coral if it wants. I hope the coral will survive. Hey, well, I wanted to show you the coral, but well, this is also a nice fish to watch for a minute here. The Carderni. A very common fish, but nevertheless a very beautiful fish. Also pretty fond of the mastic food. So I was talking about this chalice. Let's see if we can get the fish out of the picture. Yes, there it is. So it starts, the angelfish starts, the Pigoplites starts eating on the edges of the chalice. As you might be able to see a little bit, it's a little bit irritated around the edges. And yeah, well, of course I don't like it, but then again, I don't think it's too bad either. I hope it survives. I'm sure it will survive because it's quite big, and if it doesn't, then well, that's tough luck. As long as it keeps itself to 1 or 2 corals, not a big issue. Of course, when it starts wrecking the entire tank, then it's a different story. But they're not known to be like that, to do that behavior, to show that behavior. So here's one of the nice mandarin fish, the female actually. Also a very beautiful fish to have in your tank. They need a lot of food though. So the mastic, they will enjoy it, but they mostly enjoy very small creatures that dwell in your tank, like copepods, for example. And yeah, they're a very beautiful fish, very peculiar movement, as you can see. Coral wise, not a lot has changed. Since I'm going to move houses, I'll consider reducing my coral colonies a little bit, but nothing too much, since the new tank will be a lot bigger. I will need some coral to make it look at least a little bit nice. It will of course take a couple of months, maybe even years to resemble this tank again, but that's fine. We as reefers, we have enough time. We know that we need to be patient, although it's pretty hard sometimes. And well, we'll see. Well, let's first I'll prepare for the big move, and then install the new tank, and then we'll see. So over the next few months I will try to show you well, some of the progress I'm making regarding to the new tank, the new house of course, and well, let's get started. And well, we're reaching the end of this video, so for now I want to wish you a nice weekend. I hope you enjoyed the video and the update, and I'll see you again in the next one. So bye bye.